We were in Torah Lamed in paragraph part Zayin, in the middle of part Zayin. You have it? So nice to be back, so nice. Baruch Hashem. So, in the middle of part Zayin, like we learned, it's written Ki afilu, because even Mashu Tov Etzlenu, what it is good for us to pray long 18 in Rosh Hashanah. Rav Shalom said that even in the world to come, always the person cannot climb, a righteous man, a tzaddik, he cannot climb if he doesn't have it down before. תכלית העלייה, it's הירידה היא העלייה. The purpose of going down is that you're going to be able to climb up. So what righteous people, tzaddikim, that doesn't have no fallings at all in their avodat Hashem, what they're going to do? How are they going to climb? So Rabbeinu said that the bizayon of Rabbeinu is his students. The fact that we're coming to the Tziyun, to the grave of Rabbeinu, this is his busha, this is his disgrace. That those are his students, and he's got such a horrible down when we're coming to his Tziyun, and by that down he's climbing. So we're disgracing the Rebbe. כי אפילו משהו טוב אצלנו, because even what that is good for us, הוא רעה אצל הצדיקים. It's bad for the tzaddikim. For the tzaddikim, it's hard. You're praying 1 hour in prayer, 18, long tefillah, with all of the concentration that you have, all of the right intentions that you can have. But still, bottom line, you have a lot of more confusions, and he needs to separate. He needs to clean it. He needs to separate, to purify your prayer, that you're going to be able to climb to Hashem, that he's going to be able to hand it over to Hashem. Hainu. So Rabbeinu is explaining, כי העסקים ושיחת חולין שלנו, because our business and regular conversations, הוא בוודאי רעה אצלם. This is for sure something bad for them. Looking, you see the person is canceling Torah, he doesn't have confidence in Hashem, for sure it's bad. אלא אפילו טובותינו, but even the good things that we're doing, היינו התפילה, even prayers, שהיא בערכנו רק טוב, that for us it's only good. What was I doing? I was praying 18, I was putting all of my heart, all of my mind into the תפילה, Hashem, שפתיי, תפתח, thinking about every word, ממש, great תפילה. אלא אפילו טובותינו, even the good things, היינו התפילה שהיא בערכנו רק טוב, הוא רעה אצל הצדיקים. It's bad for the righteous people. בבחינת, like that it's written in the verse, ותפילתי ברעותיהם, and my prayer is in their bad things. The righteous man now, he needs to take that prayer and start to purify it and to clean it, to fix it, until he's going to work it out to be something pure, to be able to bring it in front of Hashem. כי תפילתנו מבלבלת אותם, because our prayer is disturbing them, confusing them. כי כל הערבוב הדעת, because all of the confusions that we have, וכל הבלבולים, וכל השטותים, and all of the nonsense שיש לנו לפעמים, that sometimes we have, Rabbeinu is very merciful to write sometimes, הכל נמשך בתפילתנו, you can see it all in your prayers. You're finding yourself, even in one bracha, you started it very nice, very good, very well. After 2 or 3 words, suddenly you disappear, and then you're jumping back into somehow, oh no, I'm doing Shmona, I'm in 18. Looking for yourself. So all of that, you have it in the prayers. כי כל הבלבולים, because all of the confusions וכולי, וכל המחשבות, and all of the thoughts, שחושב האדם לפעמים, that the person thinks sometimes, הכל באים על דעתו, all of those are coming to his wisdom, to his awareness, בשעת התפילה דייקה, especially when he's praying. It's all coming when you're praying. והכל נשמע אליו אז דייקה, and everything has been heard exactly then. בשעה שעומד להתפלל, in the time that his person is standing to pray. Rabbeinu is going to explain soon why it's all happening. בבחינת, in aspect of מיימלל גבורות Hashem, when a person is praising Hashem Yitbarach, telling how great Hashem is, ישמיע כל תהילתו. So then he's hearing, you can hear all of his תהילתו. תהילתו can be praises, but also Rabbeinu is explaining תהילתו לשון. It means תהילתו, it means ובמלאכיו ישים תהלה. That the verse is saying that Hashem made confusion between the angels. So tahala means also a mess, a balagan, confusion. So yashmiya kol tehilato, you can hear all of your confusions when you're praying. This is a huge gift, even though that it's revealing our lacking, but a person can learn a lot about himself by observing on his confusions. Meaning if now you're praying on Shlom Bayit, and suddenly you have a certain kind of confusions, it's related to the subject that you were praying on. If you were praying now on confidence in Hashem Yitbarach, on faith, and now suddenly you have nonsense that are bothering your mind during praying on confidence, on faith, you can learn from that those are the lackings, those are the stoppings, things that are stopping you from having faith, having confidence. The observation in the Itbodedut and during Shmona Esrei also to see and to ignore, not to work on it and to put effort on removing it, rejecting it, fight. No. Just observe, just to look. See, this is me. Those are my confusions. There was one person that came to the Rebbe and told him, Arav, I have so many foreign thoughts. So he told him, they're not foreign at all. Those are your thoughts. It's not foreign. Those are your thoughts. It's not foreign. היינו ערבוב ובלבולים, all of the confusions, שאז משמיעין את עצמן, that they are shouting, they're, how they say משמיעין? Sounding. They let you hear them. They are letting, being heard. דייקה, בשעה שעומד להתפלל, in the time that a person is standing to pray, ולמלל גבורות השם, and to praise Hashem. והוא בשתי בחינות.
What about a flashback?
Same things that you haven't.
Sometimes it's something it pops into your head. What causes
So Rabbeinu is, first of all, Rabbeinu is now, mamash next two lines are explaining why it's all coming, why those things are coming, especially when you're standing to pray. So Rabbeinu is explaining, v'hu b'shtei bechinot, and it is in two aspects. O shebaim lehitaken, or that they are coming to fix themselves, those bad thoughts, those flashbacks, all of everything that you are, things that are not pure. One person asked Harav once how he gonna know if he finished to fix something or if he still needs to pray on it more. So Harav answered to him that if you're thinking about it more, means that you still have work with it. But if you forgot it already, means that you fixed it. This is it. If Hashem will want you to work on it, He's going to bring it back into your life somehow. But if it's not here, means that Hashem doesn't want you to work on it. It's a very important advice for people that dedicated, want, excited to do tshuva, and they're starting to dig in their past on stinky thing, on bad things that they've done. And actually Hashem doesn't want you to do that. If you're going to find yourself too deep, too low, you can fall to sadness because of that, and you don't have the vessels, the ability to deal with to confront with all of your real darkness that you have inside of yourself, the filth from childhood, I don't know what, parents, and I don't know, things that can be very heavy. So Hashem doesn't bring them up yet, so you don't have to dig. If you have a problem, you should dig on that problem, on that issue, and still to check yourself all of the time that you're not falling from your happiness. If you see that you're dragging to bitterness, to sadness, to frustration, depression, for sure, you're not allowed to go to those places. In 1 year, in 2 years, more mikveh, more itbodeduyot, more learning Torah, more blessing from the tzaddikim, more mesirut nefesh that you're going to have. Going to be another time in Uman, you're going to have more vessels, more abilities. And then you're going to be able to go also to those depths to take care of them. But for now, if Hashem is not lifting them, not bringing them, we're not allowed to dig too much. So there are two aspects for those bad thoughts that are coming during prayers. And 18 and התבודדות, it's the same on that subject. So, first one is, או שבאים להיתקן, or that those thoughts are coming to fix themselves, מחמת שרואים שמתפלל בכוונה כראוי, because they see that the person that it's you is praying with the right intention, like you should. על כן באים להיתקן, so they're coming to fix themselves, כי עכשיו הוא הזמן שיכולים להיתקן, because now it's the time that they really can fix themselves. כי יש בהם ניצוצות קדושים, because those bad thoughts, they still have holy sparks in them. They contain kedusha. Even if it's an avera, for an example, a man that was with a woman in a forbidden relationship, it's not allowed, it wasn't allowed, but still there are sparks of kedusha in that relationship, even though that it was not allowed at all. Because there is a certain connection, and he did help her in few aspects, and she did help him in few aspects, and there is a spiritual connection between the two people. And what? No, because if you're going to go deep, and even if you're going to talk to a person like that, that is totally upside down, all wrong, all awkward, all horrible, you're going to take that person, sit with him, talk to him, you're going to understand that there is huge kedusha that is hidden inside of him. Something is so painful for him, and he suffered so much from his father, from his mother, or even from a different lifetime. And there are sparks even in those crazy, weird relationships. And the person that have good eyes and wisdom, straight wisdom, gonna see. He gonna separate the good from the bad, and he gonna see what's hurting that person so much that he found himself in such a horrible places. And this is the real wisdom of a righteous person that is judging everything in a positive way, to kav zchut, and is looking. Of course you need to fix, but first of all, the observation is to find what's the reason. Why a Jew is going so far to such a low places? What's going on? What he's looking for? He's looking for kedusha. He's looking for life. There is something that is reviving him in that weird thing, even if it's bad, even if it's not allowed. So, Rabbeinu is saying that if the person is praying like he should, so those bad thoughts are coming because they want to fix themselves. Why? Because even though that they are bad, they are crooked, twisted, still they have sparks of kedusha. כי יש בהם ניצוצות קדושים, they have holy sparks, שצריכים תיקון, that need to be fixed. This is one aspect. או בבחינה אחרת, or in a different aspect, מחמת, because שאינו ראוי להתפלל, that person, he is not worthy to pray. From heaven they're rejecting his prayers, ובאים לבלבל אותו מתפילתו, and they're coming, those bad thoughts, to confuse him and to push him, reject him from his prayers. Lemaise, it's written also in Shlom Bayit, that if the person purified himself, zacha, naaset lo le'ezer, she becomes to be his helper, she is helping him. Lo zacha, if he haven't purified himself, kenegdo, so she is against him, she's arguing with him, his wife. So a person that is serious in Avodat Hashem wants to serve Hashem, even when he sees his wife that she is rejecting him, he is not falling down because of that. He's not being rejected. He's just understanding, so I haven't purified myself enough. Now I'm going to work on my midot, I'm going to do tshuva, I'm going to apologize, and then she will not going to refuse anymore. She will not going to be against me. She's going to support me. So even the down that he's got in his life is not rejecting him. He is dedicated to Avodat Hashem. So all of those rejections, all of those problems, just pushing away from him the husks, the darkness, because he is dedicated to do tshuva, so he's penetrating. And all of those bad things that are happening to him in his life just reject the husks, the bad midot that he's got. And he is being purified by those suffering more and more and more, and reaching the purpose in the end. So also here, exactly the same here. When you're standing in 18, in the Itbodedut, and you have those horrible thoughts that confusing you, that you find yourself so filthy, or I don't know what, and you're finding yourself so confused, now the Yetzer are going to tell you, look, It's coming because of the second aspect, because you're not worthy to pray. Hashem doesn't want to accept your prayers. He's rejecting you. From that you need to wake up to tshuva. If you're going to wake up to tshuva, you immediately jumping to the first aspect, that because that your prayer is so holy, so they came to be fixed. And now that you're going to do tshuva, you're going to burn them and you're going to fix it all. This is all depends in the will. On that it's written that kol ha'ikar ze haratzon. The main thing is the will. Nothing can reject you from avodat Hashem. Nothing in the world. The yetzer hara is lafetach hatat rovetz. He is lying on the entrance. He cannot get in. He's just trying to convince you. The free power of choice is only in your hand. The yetzer hara cannot control you. He can just offer, just can convince you. If you will not going to be convinced, he cannot touch you. Cannot touch you. He doesn't have no permission. Only if you're going to allow him. Only if you're going to open your eyes, going to open your mouth, going to open your heart to horrible things. Only then he can hurt you. But if you're rejecting and you're fighting and you're ignoring and you continue dedicating your life, looking on the purpose, no one can touch you, no one can damage you, no one can move a hair from your head. No one going to be able to touch you at all. So this is the second aspect. Al kol panim, so Rabbeinu is saying, anyway, ben kach u ben kach, if it's like that or if it's like that, Bish'at tefillah daika, when the person is standing to pray, ba'in kol ha'irvuvim, coming all of the distractions, v'kol ha'bilbulim, all of confusions, shel ha'adam, of the person, v'nishma'in etzlo az, and they let themselves be heard then. U'bishvil zeh, and this is because of that, nikra'in ha'bilbulim v'ha'irvuvim tehila kanal, the confusions and all of those bad thoughts being called tehila, like we learned. Mechamat she'en ba'im daika, because they're coming especially be'et ha'tfilah va'tehila kanal, in the time that the person is praising Hashem Yitbarach, like we learned. Ve'kol ha'tfilot ha'elu, and all of those prayers, im kol ha'irbuvin, with all of the distractions, yes, and hasachot da'at, I want to say. What? Distractions, those ones. Ba'in el tzaddikim, they're all coming to the righteous people, because the righteous man, the tzaddik, Rav Shalom said to me once that he is rising, lifting my prayers, raising my prayers. I came to him. Other time he said it in Purim, that from heaven they told him that he, now in that Purim last year, he was the man that raised all of the prayers of Am Yisrael in that Purim. And he said there is no prayer that left down. Those are righteous people. They have huge powers. They are real Baalei Tefillah. They're so simple. They're so naive. They're so close to Hashem that it's amazing, Rav Shalom. So, those righteous people, they are receiving all of our prayers with all of the confusions that you're praying on kedusha, and meanwhile you're talking also about car, about I don't know what. So it's not, you cannot take it in one to hand it to Hashem Yitbarach together. You have to clean it, you have to fix it. So it's the job of the tzaddikim. And while that he is praying, he's doing all of that. So think how much he's got to do. It's something that we cannot even imagine to ourselves. Really, all of that huge amount of prayers are coming to him when he's praying, and he's fixing it while that he's praying and rising it all to Hashem. We don't understand. We don't understand at all what's going on. It's a different world for us. Ki tzaddikim, because the righteous people, הם בחינת Mashiach, they're an aspect of Mashiach. שאליו באים כל התפילות להעלותם, that to him all of the prayers are coming, that he gonna lift them. בבחינת, in the aspect of what it's written in Yeshaya, ותהילתי אחתום לך, that he, the Mashiach, he is rising all of the prayers. שכל התהילות באים לבחינת Mashiach, that all of the prayers are coming, the praises are coming to the aspect of Mashiach, שהוא בחינת חותם, that is an aspect of a nose, Bechinat ruach apenu, the spirit of our noses. Mashiach Hashem, it's Mashiach of Hashem. Ki Mashiach hu morach v'da'in, like that it's written in Gemara Sanhedrin that Mashiach is got the ability to smell v'da'in. If someone slaughter an animal and he's not sure if it's treif or if it's kosher, the Mashiach can smell it and to tell him if it's kosher or if it's treif. He's got that ability. His sense, the ability of smell, is so sensitive at him because he's so holy. It's the nose. It's revealing the power, the level of kedusha, holiness of the person. So Mashiach is so holy that with his nose he can smell everything. He knows everything. The nose, he knows, like you told me. So, v'aricho, כאילו משיח בבחינת, in aspect of, ועריכו ביראת Hashem, that he is smelling ביראת Hashem, because he is afraid from Hashem, fear from Hashem. היינו בתפילות, means in his prayers, שאין בחינת יראת Hashem היא תתהלל, means while that he is praying, this is the time of יראת Hashem היא תתהלל, the יראה of Hashem, she gonna be praised, mean that you can know how much יראת שמיים a person have. Like I said in that wonderful shiur in Nekuda Tova in Uman, that lemaise a person cannot, all of the Yirat Shamayim depends in the prayers, and Limud Torah alone is not enough. Person just by learning Torah will never gonna fix his tikkun, gonna complete his tikkun. He have to pray, he have to do tshuva on his avonot, and if he doesn't care what Hashem thinks, so he's not confessing. But if he cares what Hashem means, this he's got Yirat Shamayim, so we're going to confess. So you have to confess. So the level of prayers, this is what that is showing how much Yirat Shamayim you have. Because if you don't care, so you don't care. You sit, you learn all day long, and you don't care. You don't care how you're learning, you don't care how you're behaving, you don't care what other people think, you don't care what your wife feels now she's at home. You are dedicated to the Gemara, you're learning, you want to be a Talmid Chacham. You're not serving Hashem. It's a huge satisfaction to learn Torah, and you're satisfying yourself by sitting and learning and finishing more masechtot, more masechtot, more masechtot, and you're worshipping idols, mamash, kepshuto. Because you're working only to satisfy yourself. You don't really care about Hashem. Maybe Hashem wants you to change diapers now. Maybe this is what that Hashem wants from you. And you don't care about that. Because you decided that you're going to be a huge Talmid Chacham. Hashem doesn't want you to be a Talmid Chacham. Hashem wants your wife not to cry. כי הוא מורח ומרגיש בתפילות, because he can smell and feel בתפילות שמקבל מהם, in the prayers that he is receiving from them. את כל אחד ואחד כפי מה שהוא. Each and every one of those people, those prayers that coming from those people, exactly like that they are. Means that when you're praying, Arav, the tzaddik, the righteous man, he is receiving those prayers and he become to be aware to you exactly where you're holding. You can come to Arav and to smile to him and to tell him, Arav, I love you, Arav, I'm going to do everything for you. And when you're praying, and he needs to rise those tefillot, and he's receiving them exactly like that they are, and he smells everything. He knows exactly where you're coming from, and how much you're a liar, and where you're coming from, and what's your plans. Harav, I love you, I wish to have your house, I wish to have your car, I wish to have your seat. כי כל הערבובים, because all of those confusions של כל אחד, of each and every one, הם בתוך התפילה כנ"ל. You can find them inside the prayers, because they are making themselves being sound, being heard. נמצא שהצדיקים, so now we can see that the righteous people, הם סובלים צער, they're suffering huge suffering, sorrow, על ידי התפילות שלנו, by our prayers, שמבלבלים אותן כנ"ל, that they are distracting them, like we learn. ובשביל זה, and this is why, צריך לקבל תוכחתם. We are obligated to accept their rebuke, אף שמבזין אותנו כנ"ל, even though that they are disgracing us. Sometimes you can see, you can hear shiurim from Arav that he's rebuking and disgracing. You have to judge him in a positive way, to accept it. To tell yourself, listen, he's suffering for me so much, I have to accept his sorrow. Yes, רבנו הקדוש. אומנם, לכאורה, actually, איך אפשר לו, how can the righteous man להוכיח את כל אחד ואחד? How he can rebuke each and every one? הלא, כל התפילות באים אצלו ביחד. All of the prayers are coming for him as one. He's standing to do 18. So, there is, let's say, 1,000 kilograms of prayers. They're all coming together. Maybe they're being divided in each word, in each bracha or something, but they all came together. If you were davening and I was davening and he was davening, all of our prayers are coming in the same time when it's the time that Rav gonna rise them. So how can a Rav tell? All of the prayers coming together, של הכשרים, of the kosher people, ושל אותם שאינן כשרים, and also of the ones that are not so kosher. ואיך יודע, and how the person gonna know איזה תפילה באה, the righteous man, how he gonna know איזה תפילה באה מזה או מזה, which prayer came from that person and which prayer came from that person, כדי להוכיח אותו, that he gonna rebuke him. How the righteous man gonna know? אך הוא יודע זאת, but he knows that, על ידי העזות והתורה, knows. You see, he knows that. He just, ממש, it's amazing. So, it's amazing. It's ממש amazing. It's a רוח הקודש ממש. אך הוא יודע זאת, just he knows that, על ידי העזות, by the holy brazenness, והתורה and the Torah, של כל אחד ואחד, of each and every one, אם תפילתו הייתה כהוגן, אם לאו, or if not. If it was like it should, the prayer was like it should have been, or not. Means, when you meet a Rav, when you speak with a Rav, he sees where you're holding in the holy brazenness, means how much you're asking, how much you're getting closer to him more and more, each and every one with his brazenness, and also he's checking the level of Torah, how much Torah you contain when you're coming to talk to him. If you're talking out of your Torah, and if it's pure, or where is it, or you're coming from your nonsense, or if you're far from Torah, just talking about your issues, your problems. So the Rav can see, can define. כי יש שני מיני עזות, because there are two kinds of brazenness. כי יש עזות דקדושה, there is holy brazenness, שאי אפשר לקבל את התורה, that a person cannot receive the Torah, כי אם על ידי העזות דקדושה, just only by that holy brazenness. If it doesn't have it, like that it's written, אין הביישן למד, a shy person cannot learn Torah, he cannot. If you're not asking, if you have problems, and you're not coming to ask, you're never going to know the answers for your questions. What you're going to do? Stay shy, and you're not going to learn. So there is holy brazenness that you cannot receive the Torah without it. כמו שאמרו רבותינו זיכרונם לברכה, like that רבותינו said in the Mishnah Avot, לא הביישן למד, the shy person cannot learn. וכמו שאמרו רבותינו זיכרונם לברכה, and like that רבותינו also said in ביצה, מפני מה ניתנה תורה לישראל? What's the reason that the Torah have been given to עם ישראל? מפני שעזין הן, because they are brazen. וכמו שאמרו, and like that it's written, הווה עז, כנמר, that a person should be brazen, like a leopard. ובשביל זה, and this is why, that התורה נקראת עוז. Also the Torah being called עוז, like brazen. כמו שכתוב, like that it's written, השם עוז לעמו ייתן. Hashem עוז לעמו ייתן means that Hashem gonna give his עוז, means the Torah, to עם ישראל. כי אי אפשר לבוא אל התורה, because a person cannot reach the Torah, כי אם על ידי עזות דקדושה, just only by holy brazenness. וכנגד זה, and opposite to that, יש להיפוך, עזות מן הסטרא אחרא. There is brazenness from the dark side, from the other side. שמשם באים תורות אחרות, that from that place coming other תורות. שהן תורות שלהן, that those are their תורות, their wisdoms. שהן בחינת פסילים, that it's an aspect of idols. כי כל מי שיש בו עזות, because everyone that's got brazenness in it, בידוע, so it's a known fact, שלא עמדו רגלי אבותיו על הר סיני, that the legs of his fathers were not standing on Mount Sinai. Means rude. If a person is rude, if he is chatzuf. ויש לו Torah, and he can contain Torah, מסitra אחרא, from the other side, הנקראים פסילים, that calls idols. And Rabbeinu is saying in a different place that we can see that the biggest ones that are contradicting the righteous people, the real righteous people, are Talmidei Chachamim, are people that are learning Torah. They are the main ones that are arguing with the righteous men, because they contain Torah, but it's Torah from the other side. It can be mamash Torah, they can learn Gemarot by heart, and they can learn Shulchan Aruch by heart, and they're going to contradict the righteous men. They're going to, like Korach, that was arguing with Moshe Rabbeinu. How can you argue with the one that gave you the Torah? Because he got the Torah all wrong. It becomes to be in the opposite way. It becomes to be upside down. It becomes to be in the dark side, in the other side. And as much Torah that he's going to learn, it's going to damage him more. Like that it's written, Zacha na'aset lo sam chaim, that if he had the merit, so it becomes to be a cure for him. Lo zacha na'aset lo sam mavet. If he haven't purified himself, it becomes to be poison. For him, it's better not to learn Torah. For a person that he's like that, contradicting and arguing and angry, it's better for him not to learn Torah. Maybe he's going to be able to do tshuva one day, maybe. But if you're going to continue to learn Torah more and more and more, he's just, how you say, like putting more gasoline into the fire, more woods into the fire. שהוא הפך מן התורה הקדושה שלנו, that it's the opposite side from our holy Torah, שהוא בחינות, that it's an aspect of פסול לך. פסול לך, this is how that Moshe, the obligation of Hashem Yitbarach to Moshe Rabbeinu, פסול לך, he told him פסול לך. This is פסול, it's like from the other side of pesel, of that idol. What it means פסול לך? First of all, the word pesol lecha means, how you say pasul? Pasul. No, I'm asking the word pasul, means not that it's disqualified. So this is how that Borei Olam told Moshe Rabbeinu, you want to write the Torah? Pesol lecha. Disqualify yourself. Pesol lecha, you're outside. Now you don't have no connection to the kedusha. You feel that you're all wrong, that you're the worst one in Am Yisrael. Now you can write the Torah. When you're so humble, pesol lecha. First of all, you're outside. You're not part of the kedusha. Now you see that you're, and this is the gift that Hashem gave to us in this generation. That He's humiliating us so much, disgracing us. Let us see how far we are from the kedusha, even though that it's really true. You want to say that Moshe was a liar? He wasn't a liar. When he saw his lackings, he wasn't lying to himself. He saw real lackings that he had in himself. If not, you should say that Moshe was a liar. If Moshe wasn't seeing real lackings inside of himself when he was humble, so he was a liar. He was just pretending to be humble. But he knows that he is the prince of Am Yisrael, the king, that he is the leader, that he is... No. He knows that he worth nothing, that he's the worst one. He knows that, and he's not lying. He found lackings inside of himself. First of all, you have to disqualify yourself, to know that you're the worst one, and to observe it from a point of truth, that it will not going to damage your avodat Hashem. And this is what that Hashem is doing for us. If Hashem going to help us to succeed and to grow and to grow and to grow, we're going to fall from all of avodat Hashem because of our arrogance. Because we're so arrogant, we're so proud of ourselves, and we're so sick in that every success is not helping us to succeed. If we don't have those downs, we cannot grow. This is the only thing that creates vessels that really we're going to be able to contain light of kedusha, light of Hashem, is humility. Those are vessels that you lack of something. If you're full, so it's not a vessel at all. Only when you lack of something, then you're a vessel. You can contain.
when it says that he negated himself, that he lowered himself to the lowest level, it can only be over there, in reality at the highest level of the Emunah. He understood that everything is Hashem. If everything is Hashem, then...
Who am I?
Right.
Exactly.
Everything is perfect.
And now you can be happy even though that you're full with lackings. Because an arrogant person, when he sees that he's got lackings, he's getting crazy. He's getting crazy, saying, how can I be wrong? How can I be so stupid? How can it happen to me? How I failed? He cannot accept it because he thinks that he's something.
Right.
Means that he rejected Hashem.
Right. He's comparing himself to something else.
He have to be the best one. V'item ke'elokim. This is the promise that the snake gave us. That he told us, V'item ke'elokim. He until even put him to be like Moshe Rabbeinu, it's not enough for him. He wants to be like God. He wants to create. He thinks that he's creating reality. If there is a person that is very strong, and now he's arrogant, and he's being proud on other people that are very weak. Why you think that you're better because you're strong? Because he thinks that he created himself. He thinks that he made himself to be strong. But Hashem made you to be strong. Hashem could created you very weak. Hashem can take your power. Like you saw that he done that to Superman. Took all of his power. One day he took all of his power from being Superman to be a crippled man. Kent. Kent, it's name of cigarettes, no? No powers at all. No powers at all. Not exist. No powers at all. Just to wake us all up. And by those lackings, this is the huge favor that Hashem done with us, His kindness, to let us serve Him with Yetzer Hara. Yetzer Hara, it's been called Tov Me'od, very good. This is the name of the Yetzer Hara, Me'od. This is the Yetzer Hara. It's very good that we have Yetzer Hara. If we wouldn't have Yetzer Hara, we could not serve Hashem. We would be so arrogant that we would never wake up to do tshuva. I'm learning Torah, I'm praying to Hashem, everything is perfect. FFB, and he doesn't need nothing in his life. Full with Torah. Full with Torah. Always learning, all charming, he's got money, he's got everything. Shidduch, when he's 18, 19, he's getting married, he's got money, he's got everything. What gonna wake him up to get closer to Hashem? A real righteous man is checking himself and he sees lackings. He sees huge lackings. And now he's praying to Hashem Yitbarach. So us that we're not so sensitive to our lackings, Hashem had to push us down to real serious avonot, physical sins, physical avonot, that we're going to wake up. And without those sins, we're never going to wake up. So Rabbeinu is explaining the words Psol Lecha ki hi nikret psolet, because the Torah, she being called psolet, al shem ha'atid. How you say psolet? It's like leftovers. It means like trash, something, what? Bulk, pulp, B or P? Waste, waste, something like that. Why? Al Shem Ha'atid, named on the future. כמאמר חכמנו, like that רבותינו said, זיכרונם לברכה, in פסחים, אור שהוא יקר בעולם הזה, a light that is very valuable, expensive, worth a lot in this world, יהיה כפוי וקל לעולם הבא. In the world to come, going to be covered and very, very light. Means that even the huge understandings that we have here in this world, it will be very, very small in the world to come. This is what that we're saying in the Kaddish. When we're saying Amen Yesh Shemer Rabba Mevarach, we're saying Le'olam Ul'olmei Olmaya, and then we're saying Yishtabach V'itpa'ar V'itromam V'itadach V'itnaseh V'ithalal Shemed Ekudshah Berichu Le'ela above Min Kol Birkatav Shiratav Tushbechatav, from all of the blessing and praises the Amiran Ba'alma that we're saying in this world. Because actually the maximum that we're going to say in this world will not be the truth. The truth is a lot higher. This is why it's important to answer Kaddish until the end. Until Le'ela, above and above, more and more, more and more. Le'ela ul'ela, min kol birkata, from all of the blessing, shirata, songs, tushbechata, praises, the amiran be'alma that we're saying in this world. It's so important to say it until the end, because the intention of all of the Yesh Rabba of that answering is only in the end. That we're praising Hashem, but we're praising more than all of the praises that belong to this world. So the intention is only in the last words. So it's very important to answer until the end. So actually you see that even the hugest wisdoms of them all of this world going to be very light in the world to come, because over there you're going to see the real greatness of Hashem. Shei bechinat psolet, and now it's an aspect of waste. Shu kafui vekal vetzaf lemala, that it's kafui, I think it's like frozen or covered, mean that it's float above, that it's floating above the water. Vekal, and light. Kafui vekal ha'olam haba, in the world to come. Vetzaf lemala, and floating above. Aval torato, but his Torah. And now Rabbeinu is talking about the arrogant person, the one that is learning Torah because he wants to argue, because he wants to win, because he wants to fight. He's not learning in a humble way. So his Torah, he psolet, it's waste. Afilu ba'olam hazeh, even in this world. You cannot enjoy from his wisdom even in this world. A lot of times you can find yourself meeting with rabbis and asking for an advice, and they're answering to you from the Shulchan Aruch, from the Mesilat Yesharim, from Likutey Moharan. They can answer you nonsense, things that cannot help you in your life, and you feel it. You feel that they're poisoning you with nonsense now. You can see that a lot of times. What can we do? It's the truth. Find yourself going and consulting and listening, and you hear that that person doesn't know nothing about Shalom Bayit. He can ruin your house. If you're going to take, the last thing that you should do is to take his advice into your house. Going to ruin your house. ועל שם זה נקראים פסילים, and this is why they've been called idols. כמו שכתוב, like that it's written, לא תעשה לך פסל. Don't make for yourself what? An idol? ומי שיש לו עזות שלהם מן הסטרא אחרא, and a person that got that brazenness, rudeness from סטרא אחרא, from the other side, הוא מקבל תורה שלהם, is receiving their Torah, their wisdom, בחינת פסילים כנ"ל. So if a person is rude, he's going to be attracted to those rude rabbis, and he's going to receive from their wisdom. If he knows them, and if he's not, he's going to hear words. Everyone is collecting information from the air while it is alive. So if you're rude, you're going to collect those nonsense. And if you have that holy brazenness, mean you're shy, but you're looking for Hashem, you're dedicated to get closer to Hashem Yitbarach, you're going to collect only good things, only good advice, only good words, going to wake you up. And by that brazenness, שהצדיק, that the righteous man, רואה בכל אחד ואחד, sees that brazenness in each and every one, כפי מה שהוא, exactly like that he really is, אם יש לו עזות דקדושה או להיפוך, if his brazenness is holy brazenness or if it's rudeness, חס שלום, על ידי זה, by that, הוא יודע, he knows, אם תפילתו הייתה תפילה הכשרה או להיפוך. He can define now which of those tefillot that he was suffering from them was from you or from you. When he sees your face, when you're meeting him, he is remembering all of the prayers that he felt from you, that he smelled from you. All of it is hovering, coming back into his nose. Poor guy. כי גם התפילה, because also the prayer היא על ידי עזות, is by brazenness. כי אי אפשר לעמוד להתפלל לפני השם יתברך, because a person cannot stand and to pray and to ask from Hashem יתברך, כי אם על ידי עזות, that's just only by brazenness. Where you find the courage to stand and to ask and to, who are you to open the mouth? This is the first words that we're saying in Shmona Esrei, Hashem, open my mouth, open my lips. I cannot talk. Who am I to talk? Just I'm counting on your merciness that you want me to talk, even though that I'm not worthy. I know that I'm not worthy, but I know that you want me to talk. So for that you need to be bold, right? כי כל אחד לפי מה דמשאר בליבה, because each and every one, how much you're gonna develop in avodat Hashem, it's all depends in how that you are assuming Hashem Yitbarach in your heart, thinking about Hashem Yitbarach, evaluating Hashem Yitbarach in your heart. If you think and know in your heart that Hashem gonna help you always, that Hashem is so kind that for sure He's gonna help you, even if you're gonna fall, Hashem gonna be there like that you thought. Exactly. But if you have those thoughts, nah, Hashem doesn't like sinners, Hashem is not accepting my prayers, Hashem hates chas shalom, those thoughts, Hashem gonna help you according to that. He will not gonna be able to help you. You're blocking Hashem or opening for Hashem. Pitcho shel machat, Hashem is asking, open for me a small hole, like that you can create from a needle, and I'm gonna open for you huge place like ulam, pitcho shel ulam. I say ulam, a hole. So it all depends in how that you are opening. We need to work on our faith to convince ourselves that Hashem is merciful, that Hashem is kind, that Hashem is good, that Hashem is forgiving, on all of the avanot, and according to that, corresponding to that, Hashem gonna lead you. Each and every one, kefu madimshair belibe, like the thought that he's got in his heart. Et gdulat haboreh, the greatness of Hashem, yitbarach shmo. His name gonna be blessed. כמו שכתוב, like that it's written in Mishlei, נודע בשערים בעלה, known in the gates her husband. Her husband is Hashem, not the husband of Am Yisrael. He gonna be known, נודע בשערים. שערים, it's gates, but it means shiurim, amounts. Means how much you're waiting, how much you are evaluating Hashem Yitbarach, this is how much that you're gonna know Him. It all depends in how much we're looking for Hashem Yitbarach, working on ourselves in our התבודדויות. כל חד לפומה דמשאר בליבה. This is how they explained it in the Zohar Kadosh, that it's all corresponding to how much that you are evaluating Hashem in your heart. וכל אחד, and each and every one, לפי ערכו, according to his value, שמשאר בליבו, that he's evaluating in his heart, את גדולת הבורא יתברך שמו, the greatness of the Creator, gonna be praised His name. איך אפשר לו, so a person that is respecting Hashem, that he is holding that Hashem is huge, that he is gigantic, that is holy, that is fire, that is, I don't know what, everyone thinks. איך אפשר לו לעמוד ולהתפלל לפניו? So how can you stand now and pray in front of Him? I remember myself, and it happened to me only once in the beginning of my tshuva, maybe 10 years ago. I was standing praying mincha in my house alone. I had a room that I was learning over there, and I just said Hashem. I wanted to pray mincha. I said Hashem, and I couldn't continue. It happened to me. It's from heaven. It's to wake the person. It's not a level that I reached. It's something that happened to me. I said Hashem, and I thought to myself, oh God, what are you saying now? You're standing in front of Hashem. And I couldn't talk. And I was waiting over 10 minutes until that I could say, Sfatai Tiftach. I couldn't. And after it, I said to myself, you have to finish Shmona Esrei. And I wasn't praying. I just said, Sfatai Tiftach. I just reading the Siddur fast as I can to close it and to run away from this room. Mamash. I just said Hashem, and I said to myself, what are you going to say now? Hashem is here. Hashem is here. If really a person is going to understand that Hashem, the Creator, is standing in front of you, Him, the one that created everything, waiting that you're going to pray, how can you talk? You have to be very brazen, very bold, very brave to be able to open your mouth to ask, Hashem, look, we need a new car, what's going on? Ribono shel olam, where is my shidduch? What's going on? Where is the money? How can you talk? How can you talk before you thank and thank and thank for hours, for years, until you're going to cover all of the debts that you have from thanking to Hashem Yitbarach? That we need to thank all neshima v'neshima, every breath that we're breathing, we need to thank Hashem on that. So The debts of thanks are, this is why in the world to come, they're going to be only thanks and praises. Because we have such a huge debts. So I'm going to give us the possibility to pay back. We owe him so many thanks. So how can you ask when you owe? A person that you have debts to him, that you owe him $200,000. How can you ask for another loan? You don't have that ability. How are you going to come to talk to him? You owe him. First of all, you're going to apologize and thank him on what that he done for you already, and apologize more and more and more, until you're going to feel that he doesn't need no more from those apologizing. And then you're going to say, I'm sorry to ask, but maybe this is how we should approach Hashem. This is the only way that we can approach Hashem, that we should approach Hashem. And it's all written in the book, Gana Gaguim. How you say Gana Gaguim? The orange book. Garden of Yearning. This is that book. It's all been explained that over there in the beginning that you cannot ask nothing from Hashem, and that the real Bodedut is only to ask Hashem what you want from me and not what can I have from you. But over there he's explaining, but if you find yourself that you don't have a choice, that you have to ask, because if not you're going to suffer so much. So first of all you have to apologize, and then to thank, and then you can ask. Thank you, Rabbi Tais. Thank you very much.